Hey, welcome back to Video Game Tester 101. My name is Lawrence. I'm a guy who's been in the video game industry for some time as a video game QA tester, for those who don't know. And one common question is, what's it like being a video game tester? And I want to say that this particular answer will vary depending upon who you talk to and how long they've been in and where they've worked. So this isn't going to be a blanket statement. I know that some people absolutely love it and some people don't, but they're stuck in it. I know that some cases where you do something for so long and you build up a skill set in it that this is like the one thing that you're good at that you know that people are willing to pay you for. So you can't really do anything else because you got bills to pay and you got stuff to take care of. While some people don't have very many bills to pay and they don't really aspire to do much more than this, they're perfectly comfortable just doing this. Um, so it just varies. It just varies. I will. So I'll talk a little bit about the question is from my perspective. Um, Obviously, when I first got into it, it was exciting because I was a GameStop manager before that, and before that, I just worked retail. Right, I just worked retail, and I hated retail. I hated every minute of it. It sucked. People aren't great. People are terrible. For some reason, retail and customers, they think that you're subhuman, and so they treat you poorly, and it's just awful, right? So to be able to step out of that, to go to a place, do something that you really love, video games, and do something that most people can't do, or they probably could, but most people won't do or don't do, or maybe they can. I don't know, depending on where you live and stuff. So it was just one of those things to where this was a really good opportunity. So I got in, and it paid a little bit more, right, than what I got before. And so I liked it. The pay at the time, because of my life situation, was pretty good. And what my life situation was, I was a single guy who didn't really have to, do much. I didn't have all sorts of bills or anything like that. So at that particular time, it's fantastic. It's like, well, you're paying me for this, great. Especially when it came to overtime and it came to bills and stuff like that. And as you progress, as you go higher and higher, you get more and more recognition for your skill set. It's easier and easier to get the next QA job because when you go in for the interview, they'll look at your resume and they'll see bump 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 bump. Okay, this person doesn't need much hand holding. This person is proficient. This person has experience going through the ups and downs, so it's easier for them to pick you up. I want to say that getting into it at first is probably the hardest. The reason being is because there's so many people you're competing against. You're competing against a lot of people. I think that's the hardest part. And so if I were a company and I had one slot for QA, I can look at this person's resume and they have nothing. Maybe they participated in a ton of beta tests, and I have this person over here who has 3 years of QA. They worked at a mobile company, and they worked at a PC gaming company, and they worked whatever. So the likelihood of me going with them, if they do well in the interview, is just we want to get the best bang for our buck. And so uh, once I got through that, and once I progressively got better and better and better, and I learned more and I learned more, uh, it was definitely a journey. It's definitely an experience. It's definitely something that I think was really good. Um, so there there comes a time where you have to decide if this is what you want to do. Is this something you want to continue to do? And you have to be wise enough to look down the road. When you're young and you get into this, you see, you're googly eyed over just the fact that you're in a video game company, but you have to realize that no matter how much you love this industry, you still have bills to pay. And if you end up having a family, and depending upon where your city, a lot of video game companies are in tech cities. Tech cities are really expensive, and so you have to take that in consideration. So you have to like balance out, is I'm having a lot of fun being in this industry and I'm really not getting paid that much. Am I going to be able to sustain this? You're going to get older. And as you get older, your health starts to decline. I got to tell you right now that the video game insurance is just not good. It's just not good. So you have to take that consideration. And so for me personally, when I started taking that in consideration, when I started realizing like, hey, I'm having a fun time here, but now I got another child. Hey, I got a family to take care of, and I'm not really making that much more, but I have a lot of experience in this, you know, and they're not really willing to pay me a larger amount. Um, that's where you depending upon where you are in life, that's when you sway left to right. And I started to sway to a point to where it's like, okay, after all the layoffs and stuff like that, and so just for you those who know, I have a free video game introduction course. You can check it out down below. It's free, but I talk about my pros, I talk about the cons of the video game industry. But one of the cons in the video game industry is that the constant layoffs, it's constant, you know it's just a part of it, and we're not surprised. No one in the video game industry is like surprised by layoffs. It's just very disappointing. It's heartbreaking, because how many times can you go from I got a new job to we may get laid off because of whatever, this and that, and now I have to go back and look for work again. Ugh. I got tired of that. I have a family to take care of. I got tired of that. So I got to I think it was somebody at BioWare said something to me that really opened my eyes, because I was working with the programmers. But somebody at BioWare, when I was there, he said, you can make a lot of money in software that isn't QA, like other software, non-video game. I'm sorry, not QA, non-video game QA. You can make a lot of money in software QA. And that's where it's like, oh, interesting. And that's a little bit of my journey of what I am now. I'm a QA automation engineer, and I get paid much better than whatever I would have done in video game QA, like leaps and bounds much better. So it's just one of those things that it's a good career path as a stepping stool. It's a good career path for learning. It's a good career path to get your foot in the door for software. It is not a good career path if you have responsibilities, if you have a family, if you have things to take care of. If you have goals that are up here, then it is not a good sustainable career. It's just not. Even you could probably end up being a QA manager, which I would say that a QA manager for software gets paid much better, even though video games and software, they're both software. It's all software. But I'm just making the distinction between the two now, is that video game QA, video game testing, is just not reliable when you want to take care, or when you have bigger and bigger and more responsibilities. It's just not sustainable. That's from my perspective, because again, some people can say, well, I've been in the video game industry for 30 years and I have this, and this. Okay, well, maybe you're a better spender. Maybe you have side work. Maybe you're better than me as a human being. You're better than everybody else. But I'm talking to those who aren't perfect. I'm talking to those who, like, you want to get into it. Just as a reminder, it's fine for a few minutes. It's fine for a little bit. But you got to make use of it, and you got to grow from that. Okay, so if I've given you any value, if I've helped with that question at all, please give me a like, subscribe. I'm going to be coming out with continual videos, hopefully answering questions, giving you guys some insight on what it's like to work in the video game industry from a QA standpoint, even afterwards. As a reminder, check out my free course down below. It doesn't cost you anything. And ask me any questions if you have any comments. And I'll see you in the next video.